obviously you're lucky enough to know him professionally, and I'd like to know professionally and just as a person overall outside of baseball. What were the biggest things that you learned from Vin with your time spent?
Couple of things. First of all, be yourself. There were a lot of people who wanted to emulate Vin, but nobody can copy him and nobody could imitate him. But he would often tell people, the best thing to do is to just be yourself. If you're there for a while, people are going to like you.
Yeah.
and he was just so humble with how he would say that. I mean, and I think when he told me that, he was probably in his, I don't know, 50th year or 56th year or something.
It's unbelievable.
Like
it's unbelievable, Tim.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so, I mean, I learned that. I also learned that, when you play baseball, I played through college, and there was always one like, somebody's pitching a no-hitter, don't say anything, can't say anything. And even as a younger broadcaster in my days with the Pittsburgh Pirates, there was still this thing where you have this unspoken word if there was a no-hitter going on. But Vin was one that for all of his time in baseball, and I believe he learned this from Red Barber, is, you have to tell the audience what's going on. There is no broadcaster's jinx. That is a bunch of nonsense, and it is. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But it's funny, and it's fun for the fans, and it's fun for the players in the dugout, for those people to, stay with the tradition of baseball where you don't say anything. But, I mean, this year we've had Clayton Kershaw go through 2 games where he's been perfect through 7. And if me as a broadcaster, if I don't say anything about it, and I'm just ho-humming it like, oh, it's just another game, I'm not doing my job. So I need to let people know. And that's one thing, a big thing I learned from Vin, is that don't let people who want to accuse you of jinxing a no-hitter because the next guy hits a ball up the middle, and that it was suddenly the broadcaster's fault, like the pitcher and hitter had nothing to do with it. He said, don't ever let that bother you. He said, you need to tell people what's going on. And I do. And when Kershaw had his last flirt with a perfecto, it was in Anaheim against the Angels, and I was on television. And in the 8th inning, Luis Rengifo hits a double. And sure enough,
Tim, it wasn't your fault.
I get blamed for it. But but I learned that from Vin. And I learned about, how to be humble and how to be gracious, and a lot of things I learned from him just from being around him a little bit. Not nearly as much as somebody like my partner Rick Monday has been, but Vin was special, one of a kind. He really got it, and Los Angeles and the baseball world really got him.